being sober, just remember to give good tips. Beer, beer, beer. Raise your glass, then tilt your cup. Now pour some more, cause you haven't had enough. Beer, beer, beer. Drain your glass, then grab a friend, then do a little dance, and then you drink again. Take a look at that amber glow, and watch the bubbles rise. And everybody knows that we're all here to have a good time. Chug that shit down, erase that frown. Line them up and make me proud, just sing along and sing it loud. Hand in the cup with a great big smile, you're gonna be here for a while. Drink it up till you can't feel, just give it some time before you break that seal. Beer, beer, beer. Raise your glass, then tilt your cup. Now pour some more, cause you haven't had enough. Now beer, beer, beer. Drain your glass, then grab a friend, then do a little dance and then drink again.
Welcome, you guitar people out there on the YouTube. We're looking at a Magneto guitar today, and Magneto is a brand that apparently, as far as I understand, they have their custom line and all these expensive guitars. From some of the people behind Blade, if you know that. Levinson is a name there, and something, I don't know, Blade guitars. They were pretty high-end guitars. They were pretty big and then disappeared a bit, but they're still around. And this is a spin-off of that in some way, which I don't quite understand, but then this is their import line, so not the custom guitars, and we're looking at the US-1300, which should clock in, if I got this correctly, since they aren't in shops widely available, it's tough to find prices, around $499. And we're going to look at what the specs are, and the stats and all that, and then we're going to play it, and then we're going to kind of shove it into the market. Where does it sit? Feature-wise, is the price a bargain, and or is it adequate for what the guitar is, and all that stuff? And that's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to look at features, which of course I got on a cheat sheet here. So this is the US-1300, and it's clearly an HSS Strat, and you might immediately notice a wooden pickguard, which is kind of cool with those lines in there. So design-wise, they got a little bit of a tiny bit of their own thing going on. Obviously, with a jack plate right there, that's an HSS Strat, even though the body is a little bit, the tiniest bit different. The lower horn seems to be a little bit longer than usual, or maybe the upper horn is a little bit shorter. It doesn't have that massive ook going on. The ook, if you know what I mean. We got a basswood 2-piece body, okay? 2-piece for $499. If that's true, we don't know because it's opaque, so we have no idea. But if that's true, that's already good because we know that at $499 you usually have scrap wood, whatever lies around. The finish is polyurethane, and the pickguard is finished wood. Not wood from Finland, that would be Finnish wood, and I am not funny. The neck is hard rock maple, and as far as I can tell, and they don't say this, but we can see, it is 3-piece hard rock maple, which is why it doesn't have a scarf joint. At that price point, we would expect a scarf joint. At that price point, we would expect a scarf joint. Leslie, go back to that camera, please. That was very nice. So, if you do a 3-piece neck, 1, 2, 3, we don't need the scarf joint. And we also have quite a bit of extra meat here. If you look at this right there, very nice. It's not really a volute, but it's more meat on the neck. So we have this piece in the middle here, and that's a 3-piece neck. And I'm not going to bitch about that. $4.99, totally fine. We don't have a scarf joint. That's what you get. We clearly have a little bit of a reduction of the body thickness here. If that really, and it goes down a tiny bit there, a little bit crooked. Okay. For playability. And I don't know if you can see this, but this white paint is kind of a little bit sparkly. Kind of neat. It's the Magneto Sonnet headstock. That's what it says. Satin polyurethane finish on the neck. East Indian rosewood fretboard. It's got a scale length of 25.5. That's standard. The nut material is synthetic. It looks also rather cheap. It's like, you know, one of those inexpensive guitars, and it's kind of built that way too. It'll do the job. Nut width is 42 millimeters. We have narrow jumbo frets by Sanko Japan. 22 of them. Medium C-shaped neck. So let's look at that. That's what the medium C looks like. I don't know if you can see the C, but I can feel the C. Okay, we have... Wow. These videos do not get funnier. We have a 12-inch radius. It's a tapered neck heel. Double truss rod. Classic top-loaded truss rod nut. So it's, you know... That means up here as it is, but without a truss rod cover. The bridge is a vintage-style tremolo. Don't expect magic with a guitar in that price range. And the thing that I notice is this trem arm feels oddly weird. It feels thin. It feels very long at a weird angle. I'm sorry, but it does feel cheap. It just doesn't feel like realistically, I wouldn't use that tremolo. Even if it was stable, that arm just feels weird. Just saying. Magneto tuners. Okay. I mean, they're non-locking. And of course you're going to say, well, but obviously for $4.99 you don't get lock-in tuners. Which is not true. I just reviewed the Harley Benton SE550 Plus, which has active EMGs and beautiful locking tuners for $369. The difference... with I don't want to call this a budget guitar because $4.99 isn't budget anymore. But the difference to go to locking tuners, realistically, is a few bucks, and you make the client so much more happy. True story. String retainer, vintage style E&B string. The string angle is extremely the same for all strings. So well done there. Definitely something that Fender on the Player series, which clock in at 150 more at 650, couldn't pull off. So I had to replace the string tree. So well done, Magneto. The neck plate, standard chrome pickups are USC 200 singles and an M&H 200 humbucker that tells you nothing. And we are done with the stats for this, which means I did no setup at all. Frets seem not poking out, but also not amazing. They didn't round off the fret edges. This isn't like a high-end guitar. And that brings us to, let's pump it through a couple of amps. We're going to go through the Revv Dynamis 740 over there on the clean channel for our pickup positions, and then we're going to switch to a Fender, and so on and so on. So here we go, on the single coil neck. Should we tune? Let's try it. Let's get this right out of the way so I don't have to tune 15 times. I just tuned it before we started the video. Tuning stability, they feel very, very easygoing, super easygoing, but maybe too much easygoing. Let's see if I use this. Let's see if that did anything. No, that's okay. Good. Moving on. First thing on a less expensive guitar is the top string, the high E string, can fizzle out quite quickly. So we can hear thick, 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 and then all of a sudden there's almost no meat to it. That's the B string. It definitely has a different quality. In between. Middle. What's with that high E string? In between, back here. And humbucker. Oh, that is the typical thing. I'm sorry, Magneto, this happens in the video, and I'm not cutting it out because... I'm getting paid for this video. Sadly, gotta say this, but I gotta eat. And if you think that that means only positive stuff, well, then watch what's happening now. This is what happens on a guitar when it's not quite ready. Look at this. I hit the strings hard and see the high E string got caught under the frets up there. And what does it mean? Well, it means that those frets are sticking out too much because something can get caught under them. That's back to shop, if you ask me, and fix the frets. That does happen on a 150, 200 euro Harley Benton ST62. It does happen, absolutely. This is 500. It shouldn't. So, if this happened, yeah. So if I'm hitting hard, now of course I got a tune, probably. No. Yeah, tuning stability is so-so. Moving on, we're gonna go into the Fender Deluxe Reverb. let's go into a JTM, which is the Achillies Argos. JTM style, meaning like a really old classic-y kind of a Marshall thing. You pull back and it's nice and open with a lot of compression. But then you dig in, it gets thick and fuzzly. Let's go to a more open crunch sound. That's the Revv Generator 740. The humbucker's got some meat. It definitely gives a big punch. We're gonna go into the Revv 100P. Let's see if it can be heavy. Engl Fireball 25. Okay, I'm gonna move on back to the Dynamis, but with some pedals, and I'm gonna go back to E. And I'm gonna throw on this reverb, which is $1,000, and this overdrive. nice honk. Come on, more gain. Oh, we're good there. Okay, let's wrap it up. Playability, I'm extremely happy with. $4.99, fine, and that rhymes. I'm fully okay with the playability. I like the optics. If you're into the wooden thing, come on, wooden cover back here, that's really nice. I like the sparkly finish. I like the white matching headstock. Optics, thumbs up from me. Playability, I have zero problems with the guitar. Easy right out of the box. It comes out of the box in a gig bag at $4.99. That is not normal. It's a thin, flimsy, one of the cheapest gig bags you can get, but at least it's there. And that's something that companies like Ibanez and Schecter should absolutely learn from, because it's a nice little add-on. This is neat. The 3-piece neck seems to be stable and a good idea. Tones are there. The single coil sounds are there. I love the in-between position and the super mega honkiness when you pull back the tone. The humbucker does add that extra push, so you can play the heavier stuff, and that makes it a pretty flexible guitar. So tones are there. Are they massively amazing? No, they're not massively amazing. They are in line with the guitar for $4.99. They aren't, oh my god, I can't believe this guitar is only $4.99. No, they are adequate for a guitar in that price range. If I got a Schecter for that money, probably similar. If I got an Ibanez for $4.99, it won't be a better guitar. So it is okay in that price range. It's not mind-blowingly, oh my god, I can't believe the guitar is only $4.99. Okay? Tuners and tuning stability leaves a little bit to be desired. Not as bad as the Fender Player Series, which right out of the box are useless. You have to upgrade the tuners and the string tree, absolutely. They're a little bit flimsy and a little bit easygoing. That's something you might want to think about upgrading, or that's something that actually Magneto might think about upgrading. It says U1 series on here, so maybe just a sticker, who knows. But these aren't the greatest. And you can absolutely put the greatest tuners on there at that price range. I know Harley Benton has a different distribution model. They buy directly from the factories, they cut out the middlemen, they cut out the company, so in this case Magneto wouldn't exist, and the distributor, which is in this case before distribution, wouldn't exist, so two people less make money. But that's the market, that's who we're competing with, and they have better tuners, just saying. Like the Fusion series, they have locking tuners. This E thing, that it gets stuck under the frets, that is something I excuse maybe at a guitar for under $200 and can say, well, you know, get it fixed or don't play so hard. But at $4.99, that needs to be fixed, Magneto people. The trem arm is weird to me, and realistically, I wouldn't wiggle the shit out of it. I'd be careful, because the tuning stability is gonna go bye-bye. Again, Fender Player Series at $650 has the same issues. So if you like the visuals, if you like the look with the sparkly, if you love the idea of a real wood pickguard, which is way cool, it really is. Again, this guitar is not out of this world, oh my god, I can't believe it is only, but it's also solid compared to the competition. So if the competition has nothing that visually tickles your fancy, if you don't want to go, Fender. I think the cheapest is the Player Series from Mexico. So that's $650. So if you don't want to go Squier, but you also don't want to go Harley Benton and you want something in between, then this guitar, the US-1300, might be for you. I think I found all the things I want to bitch about. That means I'm going to link to wherever I can find this. If not, then the company directly. You can look at stats and stuff there. And I want to thank Leslie for switching. I have to sneeze, so I got to talk really, really fast. And something links below. Support me everywhere. And animals at the end. Yes, good. Okay. Animals at the end.
My way, I left the path I went astray, but I could have become someday. Father, have I lost my way?